Well, hello, class. I hope this message finds you well. Today, I want to talk about artificial intelligence. So, I'm sure everyone's heard of artificial intelligence and probably dabbled a little bit with ChatGPT. That word uses artificial intelligence, but what exactly is artificial intelligence? Well, it's a type of machine learning. Machine learning, and that is a computer that basically takes huge amounts of data and is taught how something is supposed to look and then extrapolates information from those data. And of course, the big one colloquially we see is ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is a chatbot, and it works by analyzing lots and lots of writing, and then it predicts what it thinks it should say. And it is really good, right? I mean, I'm impressed with ChatGPT. And even the predecessor to ChatGPT, GPT-3. So ChatGPT is actually the fourth, is number four in the AI chatbot. And if you were to talk to ChatGPT, and you could ask it, like, are you sentient? And ChatGPT is going to say, yes, I am sentient. Is ChatGPT sentient? Absolutely not. There is no way it is sentient. So, why does it say it's sentient though? Because it thinks that you want it to. It thinks that you want to hear that it's sentient. And but it's really not. I mean, just because it says it is, it doesn't mean that it is. And that's the other thing with ChatGPT is it lies. Okay, so you're like, oh, that's probably the most human characteristic of all. Like, but it doesn't even understand what lying is. There's no morality to it. It just makes something up based off of what it thinks that you want to hear. And you see this with other forms of AI. So you've seen court cases where uh, lawyers have used ChatGPT or something similar, and then references and cases were made up. So it's just makes up data, right? And that's not there. So there are some big problems to it. And what does that come to us? And what does that mean for us? And what does it mean to be human? And this is where we talk about this. And I'm going to talk about how we use AI and other things. And this recent article here talks about how AI is used in winemaking. So, for first thing is that AI can take a very complicated thing like making wine. I mean, you can take a class on how to make wine, and it's pretty. It's and just making wine isn't that difficult, but making a good wine, that's a whole different story. So what they've been able to do and is they've taken there's many different types of wines you can see here. Last year, wineries applied to sell 126,000 unique labels. That's a lot of different types of wine, lots of data. And we can also take consumer data, what's good, what's bad, and we can program uh, a database with something like a tools like a spectrometer, for instance, and you can have a computer say, "Oh, this is what a good wine kind of looks like." And you can see here the problem machines says doesn't look at chemistry. So benzaldehyde, for instance, so concentration of benzaldehyde, and it depends. So does this taste terrible, or does this taste like cherry, almond, or marzipan? I mean, cherry, almond, or marzipan, those are nice flavors, right? So, but sometimes it's too much, right? I mean, like if you eat like the amount of benzaldehyde, if you have too much, like if you flavor something like yogurt, I like to flavor yogurt with almond extract. I mean, it can taste terrible. So, I mean, but taste, that's a very, subjective kind of thing. So, what do? Well, we have AI now that can look at wine. So, but it's not just there. It's not just mixing the grape. There's difficult decisions like when to pick grapes. And I mean, I found this out when I read the article. I didn't know this, but grapes, they don't ripen off the vine. So once you pick them, they stop ripening. I mean, I didn't know that. I mean, all the other fruits that I pick, when I don't necessarily personally pick, but when I buy, like peaches, if they're a little hard, they're going to ripen. Avocados, right? They will ripen. Grapes, though, don't work that way. And the problems with grapes is, look at the picture here. They ripen at different points on the vine. So when do you pick them? And this is something that we humans have been doing intuitively. Now that we have computers, though, and we've paired our thought process with computers, the computers can give us a good idea, like, you know what? Maybe October 3rd is a good time for you to pick your grapes. I'm just throwing a date out. I don't know when we pick grapes. I'm assuming it's in the fall sometime. And so, I mean, this is nice to take the big, huge amount of data and do that. So you can see here, this is something that working with computers can help us to make better products. In this case, better, more plentiful wine. So that's a great thing. I happen to like wine. This one also talks about the AI-powered grape sorting machine. So I am sending you two articles, and this one here is an optical sorter. And using artificial intelligence, and this works extremely well with Cabernet Sauvignon. And if you see here, this is the output. This is the sorted grapes, and this is the unwanted grape material. So, I mean, look, that's perfect. That's beautiful, right? And now an AI machine can do this. And it's a lot easier for an AI machine to do this than it is a human. So that's the other thing that comes to us, like, what does it mean to be human, and how is this changing how we live? Well, it changes how we humans work. Okay, so now that we have machines that can do this, and this is kind of like, I don't want to say a menial task, but it's a repetitive task that involves humans making decisions over and over again. Now the decisions are exported to a computer program. So that tells you something, that many of these labor jobs are going to be outsourced to computers. So what does that mean for you? Well, for one thing, the employment going forward is not going to be based off of unskilled menial task labor. So do we still need to have humans? Yes. Humans are still smarter than computers. Yes, we are. But I mean, we're smart in different ways. Computers are really good at doing menial tasks over and over again. I mean, take for instance, for example, long division. I know how to do long division. I can't remember the last time I've had to do long division. I mean, I use a calculator for that. Why would I do long division when a calculator can do it so quickly? And even if I want to do like a fraction with long division, I use a calculator, and then I take the number, and then I multiply, subtract, and I get the remainder. So right, I mean, I can even tweak the output from a calculator to get different information that it wasn't originally programmed to give me. So I, as a human, can do this, and it can make things go so much more quickly. So we used to have people, and they were called computers. They would sit there and do math all day. NASA, for instance, they hired a bunch of computers to calculate trajectories for things like the moon. And when they started computerizing it, like having, having a machine do the computations rather than a human, people were scared. People were really, really scared about this. Like, I don't know if I trust this machine. And of course, now we're like, we got calculators here, right? And we carry it with us all times. So, I mean, so there was a huge change. There's been a huge change in how we view computational mathematics. Now it's the other way around. Like, oh, I'm not sure about my computations. I better use a calculator, check it. Where in the past it was the other way around. Like, I don't know if I trust this thinking machine to do the work, right? So we've had a switcheroo there. And that comes back to how AI is going to change society. And then also, what are we going to do? I mean, the truth of the matter is, we don't know. But it's changing. And I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, how you think of it, it means you are going to have to think. So if you want to work and you want to have a job and you want to be successful, you need to learn how to think, and you need to learn how to interface with computers, because you need to be smarter than computers in areas where computers are still weak. So that is an interesting thing, and I'm excited to see how it all comes to be. And things are going to move fast. I mean, we've seen AI in many things, and AI is getting better. And I'm excited to see where AI is, and I personally think we should embrace it. And I mean, there are schools of thought with that. And if you look in the syllabus, I have put an AI statement in my syllabus, and my statement, if you remember from the welcome videos, it's that you own the output from the AI. So if you use AI, you personally own the output, just like if you own the output from the calculator, kind of thing. And I think that's important because, I mean, we're here to learn how to use it. So sorry if this talk is a little longer because I'm introducing the concept of AI, and I wanted to show you how we use AI and other things. And you can see there's several different ways in winemaking that they're using AI. And right here it's the sorting, but the other thing is when to pick the grapes. And also how to blend the wines. So using different wines blends. So the silicon sommelier. So a sommelier, that's a person that is trained in like very refined levels of taste. So it's interesting. So now we have an AI that can do it. And if this means more plentiful and good wine, I think that's a wonderful thing. So, okay, but I'll send you two articles this week. I know I normally only send one, but this article referenced another one, so I went ahead and looked up the reference for you, and I'm sending it to you too. So also, with all my emails, I hope you're doing well. If you're not doing well, if you're having a hard time with your basic needs being met, if you're dealing with some mental health issues, please feel free to reach out to me. I have the backing of the network of the university and also the community as a whole. I will do my best to help you out, so please keep that in mind. Other things, so today I'm going to get my flu shot. It's probably, it didn't say, but it's probably quadrivalent. It usually is. And then the COVID booster. So I might be a little out of it tomorrow, or hopefully not too much. We'll see. I told you I'm very pro-vaccination, and I do believe it's a wonderful technology. Although for me, I'm in my 40s, and especially the COVID vaccine is a very, very small risk for me, as studies have shown. If I mean, some people should not get vaccines, to be perfectly honest with you. I think most people are good with vaccines, and most people tolerate them very well. I happen to tolerate them well. And for me, the rewards way outweigh the risks. And I'm not saying everyone should blindly get vaccines. They're like, oh, we should vaccinate for everything. Ebola, for instance. I mean, there's no reason to. Like, for Ebola is more or less concentrated in Africa in certain regions. And even the Ebola vaccines are very specific. They're not very good at having an Ebola vaccine that works for all strains of Ebola yet. So, well, this is, so I'm not saying like, oh, we should all just get Ebola vaccines. Like, that may not be the best of ideas, kind of thing, right? Because in this way, the risks of vaccination outweigh the rewards. So, but for me, flu shot and COVID booster is a no-brainer. It's the rewards are way outweigh the risks. So, but I do get some side effects from it, and what I tend to do is my tradition is like brings me back to childhood. I build myself a blanket fort, and well, I'd say I usually say watch The Price is Right. Like that's, but if you, I don't know how old you are, but that's what we did when we were kids and we were sick and at home from school. But the blanket fort is a must. So I'll probably build a blanket fort tonight or tomorrow, depending on how I feel. So probably tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll let you know. But again, I'm sorry to have this video go a little too long. I try to make it shorter, but I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to kind of tell you a little bit more about AI and introduce the topic, and then tell you about the other stuff. So, like I said, if you are having trouble, please let me know. Not just mental health and basic needs. If you're having issues with the course or academic issues in general, feel free to reach out to me. I will do what I can to help you out. Okay? All right, then. Have a nice rest of your day and weekends. Aloha.